Hello, good afternoon, good evening, everyone who all are joining in and who may join later in the session. This is your host, Himanshu Kaushik, and I warmly and sincerely welcome everyone in the session today. So today we have joined to learn more about entrepreneur opportunities in agriculture through mushroom cultivation. I know this topic is a bit new, so we are all eager to learn about this topic and to learn what are those opportunities that we can have while doing this particular mushroom cultivation. So for this, we are joined by an expert. And before I introduce you all to our expert, I hope that you all are doing good, safe, sound, and happy. So please welcome Dr. Sneha Chaudhary. He is, very sorry. She is an assistant professor in Lovely Professional University, and she has obtained her doctoral degree from Sher-e-Kashmir Agriculture University of Science. And after that, she, of course, had pursued her master's in plant pathology and BSc honors in agriculture from Chaudhary Sarwan Kumar Himachal Pradesh Krishi Vishwavidyalaya in Palampur. She has been a recipient of merit scholarships from INBA and university during her BSc and MSc respectively. She was also awarded with ASPEE Gold Medal for BSc in 2014 and was a recipient of ICAR Senior Research Fellowship, ICAR SRF from 2019 to 2021. Not only this, she also has qualified ICAR ASRB NET in 2017. And after that, she has published 12 research papers already and 2 book chapters in national and international journals of repute. She is currently working in, of course, as I told that she's working here in Lovely Professional University as an assistant professor and has more than 2 years of experience in teaching. And now she's also guiding 2 postgraduate students as well. So today she will be actually guiding us and navigating us through the process of the opportunities and the pathways we can have while pursuing agriculture, and that too mushroom cultivation. So ma'am, I welcome you in the session. And now I just want Sneha ma'am to please take over the screen. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Welcome all. And as Himanshi ma'am has said a few things about me. And so we'll just start with our topic, that is entrepreneurship in agriculture through mushroom cultivation. So before we move on to the main part, that is mushroom cultivation and how we can pursue entrepreneurship with that, first of all, I'll like to say a few things about agriculture. So agriculture is not something which is very new for us. Our basic talk about agriculture, especially in India. So its history is very, very, very old, which is written even in our oldest scriptures. And it is approximately 11,000 years old and started with the domestication of animals like your cow, buffalo, dogs, and slowly the plants which used to be widely available before, the people in our country, they started cultivating that in their house. So from there, the agriculture started. Okay, but from the very early domestication till date, the journey was not simple. So we have been through many things, many ups and downs, more or less because of the major factor that agriculture in India was and still is dependent upon the monsoon, right? Plus, there are so many unforeseen factors like droughts, floods, which guarantees that your crop will have losses if drought or floods are there. Okay, so we can say that agriculture is backbone of our economy. And why do we say that it is a backbone of our economy? Because if we see, according to the recent data, it is sharing approximately 17% of this sector, agricultural sector is sharing 17% of our gross domestic product, okay, GDP. And before I move further, like what has happened in agriculture after the independence, apart from the natural calamities that are spoken, like your floods and droughts, there used to be many famines in India. Famine is nothing but an epidemic which appears in plants, and when there are epidemics in plants, how they're impacting on us, on humans. So the most famous event in India was of Bengal famine, which happened, it started in 1942, and the major impact was seen in 1943. And because it happened in the West Bengal, and during that time, West Bengal and Bangladesh were together, so the whole area, they faced it. And during that time, we were also going through the World War. So what whatever was getting produced in India, it the whole product, the rice product, was being sent to the soldiers who were out there in the war, participating in the World War. So our local people, they were dying. They died out of starvation. So as you can see over here, approximately 10 million people were killed knowingly by Britishers because of this, excuse me, because of this famine. Okay, so this is one of the examples. And from starving in 1943 to now, which is in 2022, the earliest data that we are having, we have reached a very major goal that we are producing 340 million tons of food grain only. I'm just talking about food grain right now. And if we see the stats, in 1950, we were merely producing 51 million tons. So this fold is 6 times, right? And this was possible because of the scientists who are working in agriculture. They have tremendously worked after the independence till date, and they're still working their, what we can say, they are upgrading themselves to produce new mechanizations, to incorporate new mechanization, new techniques in agriculture, so that we are self-sufficient. And because of their efforts, now we, that is India, is the largest producer of milk, pulses, and jute. We are second largest in case of rice, wheat, cotton, horticultural fruits, horticultural crops. And we are also the leading producers of spices and other animal husbandry products. Okay, so if we see this timeline, now just look at here how we have transformed. Like in 1950, we were not having sufficient food at all. So between 1950 to 1970, for 20 years, we were struggling. We were dependent upon the imports, dependent upon countries like USA. We were importing wheat grains from them. But after 1970 till 2000, if you see in these 30 years, a lot of change happened. Basically, there was a green revolution which took place in India, where we got few varieties from Mexico, and the varieties which were already there in India, we improved our varieties and we made them high yielding varieties. Okay, so the production of our wheat crops, they increased 10 times. And because of that, from food shortage era, we went into the food sufficient era. Now we were producing enough that we were not dependent upon the imports. In the next 10 years, we were still improving our varieties and all, because of which we were able to secure ourselves from the point of that our people were not being deprived of the food, the basic food. And if we see from 2010 onwards, we have done so much well in agriculture sector that now we are exporting to other countries. Regarding various things, not only the food grains, but we are also exporting many other agriculture related products. Okay, so this over here we are, I'm trying to show you the different revolutions, and the viewers, the audience, most of you might also know, might have read about this. We went through many revolutions to achieve whatever we are, wherever we are standing today, be it green revolution with respect to crop, or milk, white revolution with respect to milk production, to increase the milk production. Blue revolution was with respect to fish. Yellow was to increase the production of oil seeds. Golden revolution was for two things, that is horticultural crops, the fruit crops, as well as increasing the production of honey through apiculture. Then we had silver revolution to increase the per capita production, or per capita consumption of eggs. Then we had brown revolution for coffee production, gray revolution for food production. Apart from this, we also had red revolution for increasing the production of tomato. We had a round revolution for increasing the production of potato. Okay, so this is also the same thing. So moving on towards the scope. When we talk about the scope, a normal person, whenever we hear about agriculture, we think is that there is a farmer and he's producing something, he's selling that into the market. Agriculture is not limited to only that horizon. Okay, it is more than that, it is beyond that. Now today's farmer is also an entrepreneur. It is not he is not limited to this field only. So I'll just show you a few of the ventures that you can go for. The first is to produce nurseries. One can start if a person is having some area at his home, some amount of small area, land holding, he or she can start this business of raising nurseries. They can develop the seedlings and then they can sell these seedlings to the neighboring markets, to the local markets, or to the neighboring states. And if possible, you can also export these seedlings to the neighboring countries, especially for the exotic vegetables or food crops which are not available in their country. And people are really doing well by this nursery production itself. The next business is with honeybees. Now, this is a very good business which you can start at a very small scale. If you are living in an area which is having optimal weather, which is full of flora, full of flowers all the time, like for 12 months, then you can go with this business where you can raise honeybees. So one product that we all know through honey apiculture is honey. But apart from honey, you can also extract bee wax, you can extract propolis, you can extract bee venom, and you can sell these value added products into the market. Okay, so apart from honeybee, there are so many things associated with this. Or you can start a small business of multiplying these honeybees and selling them to different farmers. You can establish your own training centers associated with apiculture. So it is having so much of scope, this honeybee business. And this propolis, bee wax, and bee venom, they are very costly and they are highly medicinal. So it will give you very good returns also. Next is, as you know, everything is high tech nowadays. So many farmers, they have moved from the conventional farming to high tech farming. This is the very beginning of the high tech, when high tech farming had been introduced in India, where many schemes were run all across the country, where government was providing subsidies to establish polyhouses or greenhouses. So nowadays, the greenhouse is well automated, fully automated. You don't have to do anything. Machines are there. It will do the spraying. It will do everything. And you can raise off-season crops over here throughout the year, because high-tech, excuse me, high-tech polyhouse is there. So you can maintain the temperature. So you can have a constant temperature for 12 months. And therefore, you can raise all these off-season crops. So major crops that in India we are growing under protected cultivation is tomato. Then we are having parthenocarpic cucumber. Then you have those seedless cucumbers that you get in the market. They are all grown in these polyhouses. Then capsicum. These are the three major ones. But of course, you can try with your floriculture plants. You can go for carnations. You can go for gerbera production. All of those chrysanthemum production. You can try that in high-tech farming. Now, this is relatively new hydroponics. So, especially from 2020, when we were hit with pandemic, it took a toll on the people who are in the urban areas. Rural area people, they were still surviving because they were having good land holdings, they were growing their crops. So they were not that much dependent upon the supplies. But when we talk about the people living in the cities, they are not having land, they are not having good space. So if they want to start with some urban farming, hydroponics can be a good option. You can purchase some area, or you just need a good room, And there you can establish your soil-less farming system. Okay, so over here, if you see, there are these tubes are there, which is well connected with uh, some solution which is full of minerals and all, which supplies nutrients to the plants, and they help these plants in growing without the use of any soil. So when we talk about entrepreneurship, I've just given you some examples of the major areas under entrepreneurship, under agriculture. But when we talk about ICR, which is Indian Council of Agricultural Research, they have established, they have helped in establishing 800 agri startups all over the India. They have also established many incubation centers where they are giving trainings to the young graduates and all the other people who are interested in starting some business which is related with agriculture. So if you are living in, you can go to this website of ICR and you can get more information about these incubation centers. And if any incubation center is near to you, you can directly go there and you can get in touch with them. Now coming to our topic, now this is a very well explored and yet uh, part of agriculture which is having tremendous scope. This is mushroom cultivation or mushroom farming. First, I would like to tell you a few things about mushroom. So mushrooms are nothing but fungi. Normally, whenever we talk about fungi, we think about a microscopic individual that would require microscope to see it. But these mushrooms are very fascinating fungi. When we talk about them, mushrooms are the first fungi that human had seen with naked eyes. They are so large, they are macroscopic. So you don't even require a microscope to see them. Okay, and there are more than 10,000 types of mushrooms. But out of those 10,000 types, not all of them they can be consumed. Not all of them they can be cultivated. So when we talk about cultivable fungi, mushrooms, they are very less. So their life cycle is very interesting. Okay, so most of the time they are living inside. So they are living under the soil, just in form of a thread. Okay, and when the weather is not congenial, it is not favorable for them, then they come out of the soil, on top of the soil, and they form these beautiful structures known as fruiting bodies. And these fruiting bodies are harvested by people like us, and then uh, and its consumption goes back to Julius Caesar when he used to go out in huntings and all. He was the first one to see this and he tried to consume it. Okay. And his favorite mushroom was named after him, Amanita caesarea. So from there, the whole journey started. In India, the cultivation started from Coimbatore. And now every state in our country is growing mushroom. So if we talk about their function, why mushrooms are important, they help in recycling. So because I told you half of their life or more part of their life, they're living inside the soil. So when they're living inside of the soil, they are decomposing the organic matter. They are converting the complex nutrient minerals into the simpler ones, which are then taken up by the plants. And they in turn help these plants to grow. Then there are some specialized fungi, which are known as mycorrhiza. They grow in association with the plants. So they cannot live without plants. And in return, plants are providing them shelter, and in return, they are providing them uptake of nutrients. Then there are certain fungi which help in removing pollution, and this is obviously important for us, that they are an important food source, especially when we talk about Asian countries, especially Southeast Asia. Mushroom is an integral part of their diet, and they're rich. Every mushroom that we know which are growing in this world, they are rich in proteins. They're rich in antioxidants. They are anti-cancerous. They are anti-tumorous. They're having anti-aging properties. You name a thing, it is present in that mushroom. So talking about the types of mushroom, we can categorize them under three classes: edible, medicinal mushrooms, and poisonous mushrooms. Under entrepreneurship, we are majorly focusing on the edible mushrooms which we can cultivate. There are some mushrooms which can only be found in the wild. We still don't know how to grow them. Okay. And then we are having medicinal mushrooms also. And slowly in India, some of the farmers are also moving from cultivable mushrooms to these medicinal mushrooms also, because of the higher revenue that they get from these medicinal mushrooms. So here are some of the edible mushrooms which you guys can try to grow and start your business with. First is, everyone might have seen this in the market, that is white button mushroom. We are having paddy straw mushroom. This paddy straw mushroom is not present everywhere in India. It is mostly occupied in the coastal areas like your Odisha, your Andhra, Telangana. Then oyster mushroom, milky mushroom, winter mushroom or enoki mushroom, and then shiitake mushroom. Enoki and shiitake are not grown in India that much. Some in the northeast, I think winter mushroom, this enoki mushroom is still grown, but not that much. But at the global level, when we talk about whatever mushrooms are being cultivated, 85% of them are these five. The first one over here, which is shiitake, which is also known as lentinula. Then the second is the oyster mushroom. Oyster mushroom is known as oyster because the flap of it looks like an oyster, the pearl oyster, because of which the name was given oyster mushroom. Then this mushroom is a third number, auricularia, which is also known as earwood mushroom because the fruiting body of this mushroom resembles with a human ear. And then at fourth number at global level, it is agaricus, which is button mushroom. But when we talk about India, this mushroom is at number 1 for production. And the fifth rank is for winter mushroom. So as I told you, in India, we mostly produce white button mushroom. And the best thing about this mushroom is that one can grow this mushroom throughout the year, be it in small scale or large scale or medium scale farms. It depends upon how much investment you can make, how much area you are having. So accordingly, you can plan your business, whether it should be small, it should be medium, or it should be large. But the best thing is you can grow it throughout. And if you see this mushroom every time, no matter what season it is, you will always find them in the market. So your business is never going to stop. In other conventional agricultural farms, you're dependent upon the season. If there is a season, then only you can grow those crops. And even if polyhouses are there, polyhouses requires labor, right? But in this case, you can build up low cost units and still get good returns. So before we go forward, I would like to tell you why button mushroom is so good. They are high in protein. About 20 to 30% of their whole body is made up of protein. They help in lowering our cholesterol less because they are rich in fiber. So because of that, they help to improve our digestive system. They're rich in vitamin D, copper, selenium, potassium, phosphorus, zinc, magnesium. The best thing about them is that they are low in fat, calories, and sodium, and they have no cholesterol at all. So especially in India, 60 to 70% of us, we are vegetarians, right? So in India, one of the common problem that we face is that we are deficient in protein. And one of the reason is, unlike other countries or unlike non-vegetarians, vegetarians, they do not consume optimum amount of protein. So this mushroom is a very good substitute for them. So whenever they visit to doctor, the doctors sometimes they suggest them to have eggs because according to the science or to the data that we have, egg is rich in protein, but egg is also rich in cholesterol. Okay, so the egg is having chalaza. The chalaza is nothing but cholesterol. Okay, fat and cholesterol. So we can easily substitute egg with different types of mushroom. Okay, and you know the benefits. It's in front of them, in front of you. And one more point. when we talk about any pulses, any grains, not every pulse, not every grain, cereal grain, they are having all the essential amino acids. They are devoid of one or the other amino acids. But mushrooms are those organisms which are having all the essential amino acids that humans require. So we, especially a vegetarian, should depend upon mushroom. Second is oyster. I told you why they're known as oyster because of its shape. Uh, these are the 5 different mushroom, oyster types that we are growing. But in India, we mostly grow either this white oyster mushroom, which is pearl oyster mushroom, or this pink oyster mushroom. Okay. Then paddy straw mushroom, I told you these are generally grown in the coastal areas. One of the reason why it is grown over there is because this is one of those mushrooms which require very high temperature more than 35 degrees to grow. When we compare it with the other two, oyster mushroom hardly they require 28 degree, 26 to 28 degree. Your button mushroom requires 15 to 20 or 25 is also enough. That range is there. But paddy straw, it requires more than 35. So your tropical areas are suitable for growing them. But one of the drawback of paddy straw mushroom is that its shelf life is very less. So if you're growing them, if you have harvested them in the morning, you should be able to sell them that day itself. You cannot store them. So because of this particular reason, not all the farmers they are adopting paddy straw mushroom. Okay, so mostly it is grown in China and India. And one of the good things about them is that even if you are into farming, if you are having agricultural waste, like you have grown paddy, you have grown rice. So after harvesting, you are left with the straw. Instead of throwing it out, you can use that to grow this mushroom. So you are recycling. And in the world, about 16% is occupied by this particular mushroom. Then we are having these medicinal mushrooms in our hilly area like Himachal, hilly areas of your Uttarakhand and Kashmir, Jammu Kashmir. Marshalla, जिसको हम गुच्छी बोलते हैं, we call it gucci also. So they are sold at a very high price. Then we are having this caterpillar mushroom. If you see their ball, this particular mushroom, this fungus, it grows on the caterpillar. They are the real caterpillar, and they eat this fungi, it grows on that, and because of that, this fungi is known as caterpillar mushroom. And it is naturally found in areas like China, Tibet, Nepal, and some parts of Himachal and Uttarakhand. Okay. But all these mushrooms, we can grow rishi mushroom. We are able to cultivate it, but rest of the mushrooms that I'm showing over here, we still don't know how to cultivate. Uh, one or few institutes have been able to cultivate cordyceps, but it is not still in the commercial phase. And because we don't know yet how to cultivate them, these medicinal mushrooms are sold above 10 lakhs. In Nepal, this cordyceps mushroom, 1 kilo is sold more than 80 lakhs rupees, 18 lakhs rupees. So if you want to go into an entrepreneurship with at least Canada, which we are doing in India, some of the farmers they have started, you can produce many products. You can sell it to the companies, you can sell those mushrooms to the companies, and those companies can further make it and they can sell. So you can get good returns from it. So there are many other edible mushrooms which are only found in wild. So the people who are living in the hilly areas, they go into the jungles and they collect them and they consume them. And these mushrooms are an important part of their food. Okay. Some of the mushrooms are poisonous also. As I told you, in the hilly areas, people are going into the jungles and they are collecting mushrooms for their daily food. So sometimes they can misjudge an edible mushroom with a poisonous mushroom because of how similar they look. And time and again, because of such incidents, many deaths have been happening. This is a very recent case back in, I think, 2020, where 6 people, they had died because of the mushroom poisoning in Meghalaya. Okay, starting from here, I will tell you how to cultivate mushrooms. After that, I will tell you about the costing and all. So these are the students from LPU in our School of Agriculture. During when a student reaches his or her 4th year, we are having ELP program. ELP stands for Experiential Learning Program, where the student is not dependent upon the theoretical aspect, but is doing everything practically. So there is one of a module where they grow mushroom, and we are growing oyster mushroom. So you can see over here, we are cultivating two species over here, white oyster mushroom and pink oyster mushroom. Everything is done by them. And they are also selling these mushrooms to the different faculties and different workers in our university. And then in returns, they are getting good money for that. So whatever work I'm going to show you, all of this is done by our students. So very first thing is that they prepare the spawn in the lab. Spawn is nothing but seed. It, like plants, they produce seeds. Similarly, mushrooms also requires spawn is nothing but a seed of mushroom. So what we do over here is either you take wheat grains or rice grains or maize grains, we boil them, and after boiling them, we shade dry them for at least few hours to overnight, and after that we mix uh, gypsum with these grains so that the grains will not stick with each other. And uh, what a farmer, you as if you want to start with entrepreneurship, what you can do is either you can purchase the ready-made spawn from the training centers or KVKs, or you can make your own spawn. You can start business of selling the spawn itself. So the mushroom cultivation is such a huge thing that every part, every step can be a business itself. So spawn banane ka business. After that, if you're having straw, you will chop the straw. Like here, the students, they have used paddy straw. They have chopped it in small 2 to 3 inches, and then they have sterilized it because the straw was lying in the open, right? So it is full of many microbes, and we don't want anything else except mushroom to grow in it. So we can treat it with fungicide, or if you don't want to put any fungicide, because if any traces of fungicide are left, then it will hamper your mushroom cultivation, right? Because mushrooms are also fungi, so these fungicides can kill them. So you can go for formalin, and what you can do is you can take a drum, plastic drum, and fill a gunny bag with all of these straw, and then dip that gunny bag into the drum which is having formalin, or you can mix the fungicide also. And if you are using formalin, then you can if you can either go for hot water treatment where you don't require any chemical. You will take a iron drum made up of iron, and there you will lit a fire and boil your water, and with that you put a gunny bag full of this straw, and because of the hot water it will be sterilized. Or if you don't have an iron drum, you have a plastic drum, you can mix fungicide or formalin in the water, and then dip your straw again, shade dry it like it's visible over here. It depends upon you what chemical you're using for sterilization. So sterilization, there are two methods: hot water method and chemical method. Our students over here are doing chemical method because it is easy to do, and we are having all these facilities over here. So you can either take bleaching powder or any fungicide or simply formalin. Okay. So after that, soak. You can see there is a bag which is full of straw. Soak it in this chemical water, and 14 to 15 hours up till a day, it depends upon you. If you keep it overnight, it is more than enough. After that, you have to spread it properly under shade and shade dry it. And then we mix gypsum lime with the straws also. And then it depends upon you how much big bags you want, how much big bags you want, so that the mushroom can grow in it. So this straw is serving as a food source for the fungi. Now, if you see over here, the fungi is, now we are transferring the fungi from the grains onto the straw as a substrate. So we will fill these straw in the bag. Before filling it, we will make some holes for proper ways of filling the bag. What you can do is either take equal parts of gypsum and equal parts of of the straw and equal parts of spawn and mix it together and then fill it in the bag, or what our students have done, that is layering. As you can see the white grains over here, this whitish, when you see that this whitish color is there on the grains, that means your spawn is ready to be used. Okay, so one layer of straws, one layer of spawn, similarly 3 to 4 layers, it depends upon how big you want your bag to be. Okay, and then tightly we have to pack it. There should be no air space. Tightly we have to pack it. Okay, and then tightly we have to pack it. And then tightly we have to pack it. And then tightly we have to pack it. There should be no air space. Tightly we have to pack it. And then we will keep it in a dark room. And then we will keep it in a dark room for 24 hours. Now this step is important, that you have to keep a room, term you would like, you can choose. So that is kept, should be kept in a dark room, and within that dark room, proper humidity should be maintained. Okay. And once, so what will happen? Now the fungus was on this grains.
I'm very sorry, ma'am. I'm very sorry to
Now
interrupt.
the fungus was on this grains. It will transfer on the straw. And after like 15 to
Uh,
20 days, in case of this
okay, I think there's some internet lag that's happening. So it's I think your voice is stuck and then it comes a little fast. Internet connection problem is there, ma'am. You're not audible now. And now after 1 minute, it would go so fast. Am I audible properly? Am I audible properly? No, ma'am, you're not audible. I think
What
internet.
about now?
Yeah. Now you're audible.
Is it fine?
Not fine though.
Is it fine?
Yeah. Okay. Now please carry on, ma'am.
Better than before? Okay. So what we can do is, once the mushroom has like spread, the fungi has spread all across the bag, like you can see over here. So we can remove the plastic itself, or you can make such incisions in X form. Just up, or you have to put some incisions with a scale or blade, like in X form. So what will happen once you do this? After some time, the fruiting bodies will emerge out of it, and you just have to harvest and sell it. Okay. Now, how big you want your unit to be, that totally depends upon you. How much raw material you are having, how much you can afford, all those things.
Sorry, ma'am.
Like,
Again, very sorry to interrupt
Hanji,
again. Ma'am, what slide are you showing? Is that pedistro? Sorry, pedistro mushroom. That's written part is there, or is there any picture on the slide? I
what?
think you're showing something. You're showing pictures along with the topic that you're telling right now.
Yes.
Right. I mean,
Yes,
it's not
yes.
visible, ma'am. It's not
I'm
visible.
showing the work that our students have done.
It's not visible. It's not
Is it
visible.
not visible?
No. No issues. No issues, ma'am.
Let me
Like
just
we
read.
can carry on. Yeah, we can just carry on with
Let
the
me just
session.
refresh.
Okay. Do that. Yeah. And meanwhile, attendees, if you have any question here, kindly please write in the chat box or Q&A box so that we can ask directly. Okay, ma'am. Like meanwhile, you share the screen again. There's one question that has come from Ronak Roy and says, "Ma'am, does entrepreneurship need coding?" So, in this particular field, this entrepreneur, does anyone have to?
No,
Okay. Uh, you're not audible. You're not audible.
no. I have put some case studies over here. What about now?
Ma'am, internet problem is there. I think you've been. I think it's just like you muted and then voice just comes in so fast. Not able to hear. Can anyone just reply in the chat box? Is it me only or is it happening with you also? So that I can confirm, is it my internet or our experts' internet? Anyone, please, in the chat box, can you all reply? I think you're not getting replies either.
I have joined with the LPU's internet, but here the
Yeah.
strength is less. It's lagging.
Yeah, it's lagging. It's lagging. I can see in the voice as well and in the slide
Yeah.
on. No issues, ma'am. I mean, we can just cover up. Like, can we do it a little fast because it's already 10 minutes now.
Yes,
And
yes.
yeah.
Because now only case studies are left.
Mhm.
So I have 3 case studies. So like one क्या नाम था उसका? He was asking that coding is required or what.
Yeah, and entrepreneurship.
So here is Mr. Chandrasekhar.
Yeah,
So he used to be a travel
not audible.
operator, okay, in Tamil Nadu, in the Ooty area. And in 2008, hello,
I think it's
hello.
it's happening. It's like when you say you're muted, and then when you stop, that's when the voice comes in so fast. Rather, we can just maybe conclude it because I think not able to.
Is my slide
Now,
visible?
no, ma'am, not. It's not. It's not. It's just paddy straw mushroom. That's the slide that's visible. No issues, ma'am.
Oh my God.
No issues. We can just you can just stop sharing it once, ma'am. Kindly stop share, and we can just have a like chat session for next 5 minutes so that we can conclude the session, right? Yeah. Now, can you
Okay, okay.
just answer the query? We can just conclude it here, ma'am. No issues with that.
I cannot see the questions.
The same
Okay,
question
now I can
trans.
see there's one ma'am does entrepreneurship. See, dear, we don't require any coding, even if a person is uneducated. If we give them a particular training, like how to do this, how to cultivate mushroom, even a small uneducated person can become an entrepreneur with mushroom, and it has happened. That person I had put first in my case study, Mr. Chandrasekhar, he's earning in lakhs. Now he's has established a large scale mushroom farm and he's illiterate. Okay, he started as a bus driver, then he went back to his hometown, started farming. Then he came to know about mushroom farming. There he went and had some couple of trainings, and now he's giving trainings to others. Okay, so I had put one slide where if you have 1 lakh rupees with you, you can start your business with that 1 lakh rupees also with mushroom farming. So
I think
this
I think,
does
ma'am.
not require any hi-fi thing.
Yeah, I think with this, I think a little bit of determination and patience is, of course, that is needed.
Patience is required because first couple of years you will develop your skill, right?
Right.
You have to go through many trainings. Those who are interested, you can visit to the directorate of mushroom research, their website. You will get all the details of training. So
Ma'am,
I will share this
kindly please
slide if you are
repeat,
interested.
kindly please repeat the site name as well because you're not able. I mean, we're not able to hear you
It's
that.
Directorate of Mushroom Research.
Yeah, Directorate of Mushroom Research. Okay, got it, ma'am. Got it. Yeah.
Yes. So those who are interested, they can go to that website, and there is a training calendar up till February 2024. So you can get your entrepreneurship training from there. Anything else?
Uh, uh no, ma'am. I think it's lagging a lot now. The video and the audio
I'm
part is.
so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No issues, ma'am. I think we can do one thing. We can maybe schedule another webinar, and we can just cover up this part, and then next part. I mean, next anything interesting that you might want to tell students,
Yeah,
and
sure.
yeah, we do that. And
There I can show some videos also during that time what our students are doing over here.
Right. And we can cover a
with
little
better
about
connection, of course.
right. And we can cover like how students can earn being in LPU also. And as in being in LPU, as in that you come in
Yes.
LPU and you learn the skills, and that's when you just go out and make your way in the world. And with this, ma'am, I thank you.
One of
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, 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 ma'am. Please continue. Please
one
continue.
of our student, he's an alumni from here. He was from the batch 2018. He had started his mushroom cultivation business. He learned the technique from here, and then he started his own business. So if possible, I can include some of his data also next time.
Course, and it would be better if he can come in and he only can guide the students. I think that would be like really boom for all the students who might want to join. We can try to just convince him if
Yes, sure. I'll try to collaborate with him.
yeah. And yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
in.
you
I
so
know
much. Thank you
it
so
was a
much.
little of internet issue was there, but again, the whole presentation was very smooth, and it was insightful again. And I think it does not matter whichever field you are from, because this is something that we all connected with the roots, right? The agriculture thing, main thing. So it was very, very interesting, ma'am. Thank you
Exactly.
so much for crediting your time in here. And I also want to thanks to all the
Thank you. Thank you
participants,
so much.
yeah, all the participants who have joined us here and stayed for this long hour. And with this, I want to take Sneha ma'am's permission to wrap this session up, ma'am. Shall I?
Yes, yes, sure, sure.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And thank you to all the
Thank you
participants.
so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and maybe we meet soon in the university physically. And if not, then surely virtually in the next webinar, we're going to meet. And until then, stay safe,
Sure.
stay healthy. And thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you. Thank you so much for calling.